236699.
600.
6600.
Multiple explosions coming from 661. Unable to get any ambulance, any rigs out except for 667. Automatically go to a third alarm.
23.
All standby crews to go to station
236699.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Phil from Scanner School, and this is our monthly live Facebook and YouTube Q&A session. So if you're watching us live tonight, 9 p.m. on Tuesday, April 7th, I want to say thank you for joining us live. If you're catching us as a replay, I want to say thank you very much for catching us as a replay. We'll keep looking at the comments that are being generated in both YouTube and Facebook and keep coming back to answer those questions after the live broadcast is over. So just because you're watching this as a replay, that does not mean that we still won't be available to answer your questions. So as I said, it's Tuesday, April 7th. Right now is our live session. This happens every first Tuesday of the month. We do this both on Facebook and YouTube. We also have a new Zellonet. So in addition to doing this every Tuesday, we have a Zellonet that runs every Tuesday after this. We kind of alternate now between doing the video live thing and also the Zello. So if you want to join us on Zello, you can go to scannerschool.com/Zello, and we'll be there next week and the week after that, and et cetera, et cetera. So with that, again, this is a pretty fast-paced live Q&A session. Ask your questions in the chat box, either over in Facebook or over in YouTube. And what I'm going to do here, too, is I'm just going to open up Facebook really fast and see if I have anybody over there that I am not seeing coming through the chat box here. So I'm just launching that right now. And while we're doing that, if you have a question, go ahead and throw that in the chat box. I definitely see, okay, Jim, I got you over there on Facebook. So that answers that question. So I see that we are live there. I got 8 viewers over here on Facebook. So welcome to everybody over here. And Bob, I see you over there on Facebook as well. Pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to just close this up so I don't end up trashing my my computer here. For some reason, it wants to struggle, but that's my own fault. I think I have a little bit too much going on with it. Some video editing software. So if I start having a hard time with buffering, just let me know what's going on, and we'll try and force close some applications on the computer to see if we can rescue the live feed. So again, after this feed, at the bottom of the hour, I switch over to my Patreon supporters. So my $5 Patreon supporters will get another dedicated feed just for themselves. So if you're on Patreon, you'll get a link. You'll get a link about a half hour ago. You got the link. Okay, so let's jump into our questions. Glad to see everybody on tonight. Again, we got looks like 25 watching us over on YouTube right now, and 11 over there on Facebook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly bring the chat over and into here. So I'm going to click on chat box. And we'll transition. This way everybody can play along at home and see what's going on. Bink. And I think it just went away. There we go. It's starting to load up on me. Okay, here we go. So let me bring it up here. Okay, so Eagle One Radio God is asking, how many digital modes are there in both amateur and commercial radio? So we've got DMR, which is on both amateur radio and on commercial. We have DMR, we've got NXDN, P25 are on all three platforms. We have Yaesu Fusion, which is like C4 FM on amateur radio. You've got D-Star on amateur radio, so that's 5 right there. That doesn't include some of the other digital modes such as FT8 or Packet Radio AX25, because those really aren't voice modes. Those are true data modes. So just in that session right there, you've got all that. Don't forget, too, you've also got, on the commercial side, you're going to have EDAX Pro Voice. You'll have, what else will there be in there? I'm sure there's something else. LTR is strictly analog. Quite a bit, though. I'd say at least half a dozen right now when you mix everything all in there? So very good question. Ray, I see you in there. So good evening to you, Ray. Good to see you on there. Kurt, I have you on as well. Joe Curtis, when is the SDR training class going to be offered again? If not, then when will it be available on demand? Okay, so I was actually going through that today or yesterday. I'm in a good spot right now. I actually have this week's podcast actually got published today, so that's the first Tuesday of the month. The second Tuesday of the month, I sent that to the editor last night. And then the third Tuesday of the month, I sent that to the editor again last night. So I have to record one more podcast this week. If I get that done, all my podcasts for the month of April are done. And I already have things queued up for the first May session, which is going to be another Ask Scanner School. So if you want to ask me a question, right now is a great time to do it. Scannerschool.com/ask. Again, if you do that via SpeakPipe, you can be in the running to win a free tutoring call with me. It's an hour call. We go whatever questions you have. We can do a virtual screen share and all that stuff too as well. So with that said, Joe, I am hoping to actually bring in the live session one more time in May, so next month, and then do another right after that. We'll do a launch right into the recorded session. So I actually have off camera over here on my right-hand side, I have my laptop set up with my two SDR dongles. I was actually playing around with everything earlier in the weekend, late last week also, to kind of refresh my memory on how everything works so that I could start doing the training stuff again. And in a stack of papers, I have off screen here. This is my SDR training workshop form, cheat sheet, I guess you could say, on everything that's outlined as what we be going through. So we do have a lot of progress going on behind the scenes on that course. So it's getting very close to actually being recorded. So that is that. All right. Joe is going on. Glad to be able to jump onto a live view. Joe, great to see you on there. And glad you were able to make it here as well. Glenn Blum, how you doing, Glenn? See James, I got you on as well. Bob Middleton over on Facebook, got you there as well. Les, I see you in there. And Les, I got your SpeakPipe message today, but it was cutting in and out. I didn't get to hear the whole thing. So if you want to try that one more time and see if we can get a full copy on that one. For some reason, it was cutting out and the audio wasn't that great. The other thing you could want to do, too, if you don't want to do SpeakPipe, you can call the voicemail number, which is 516-308-2885. And that's just on the phone, just goes right to a voicemail box where you can leave a message on there as well. So I definitely appreciate you asking the question. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get much out of the voicemail on that one. All right. Next one we got up here is Neil McAllister. He says, I bought overseas. Does that mean the UK or Australia? I bought a UBC 125 XLT. I only have a Mac laptop. Is there any Mac compatible software for my scanner, or is there any way to program my scanner without using a VM or dual booting? So I feel you. Here is my 125 AT, and I'm on a Mac right now talking to you guys. So I have one computer right here. That's my Windows box for my laptop, but I have a Windows computer on the other side. That's really all I use. So the best thing I could say to you is you're going to need to either run something like Parallels, which is I run on this Mac right here, or you'll need to dual boot. There's nothing that I'm aware of at all that will do that radio in a Mac environment. There really isn't much available for Mac programming unless you get into the amateur radio world where you can have Chirp that will do that, but Chirp won't talk to the in product line. So unfortunately, that's the story. And, if you think about it, more people have Windows machines, and I guess it's easier to code for Windows than it is for the Mac. I mean, I'm not a coder. I really don't know, but that's what I'm assuming on it. But a lot of people spend a lot of time on the Mac environment. So the Windows environment for their scanner radios. All right, Joe Messina, I see you in. How you doing? Marksing right along. Best recommended scanner for Mojave County, Arizona. Marksing, I think we went through this last month, but let's go through it one more time. So I'm going to open up a Google Chrome session here, and then we'll move over to my Google window here. Just waiting for it to start up on my end. Yeah, right. I just finished saying, hey, I'm using a Mac. Let me go ahead and open up a Google Chrome browser instead of opening up Safari. But the system I'm running here right now only allows, it's only set up for Google Chrome. So let me just hit this little button here and make sure it's all configured and set up. Nope, it is actually set for that. So Google Chrome, new tab. Gotcha. Let me just move this up so you can't see that. All right, I'm going to center it. You're going to get 2 bars on either side of this, but that's just the way it's going to work. Let me transition over. Okay, there we go. White screen. So let's go over to radio reference. Of course, it wants to freeze up on me here. RadioReference.com, apps. Come on. DV. All right. And it's just loading up on my end a little slow. Let's see where we go. I should have brought in a up north for next month to bring in a to bring a Safari browser instead of Chrome. This is really painfully slow here. This is really painfully slow. I apologize for this one, guys. All right, Arizona. And you said Mojave. All right, so the first one we're going to look at on the screen here is we'll take a look at what we have as far as conventional goes. So conventional in Mojave County, it looks like everything here so far is FM narrow. All right, that means we're about analog. All right, air methods is FM, 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 FM. Right, straight down the line, FM, FM. So we're looking good so far. All right, so right here you've got I'm going to butcher the name here. The Howlapai Nation, I guess. P25, P25, and P25 partial encryption. So if this is something you need to listen to right here, and I don't know if you can see everything highlighting on the screen. Yeah, it looks like you can. You would need a P25 radio. You do have some DMR down here in Kingman. Again, looks like it's just hospitals. And let's see. Lake Havasu City is P25 and DMR. So depending on what you want to listen to in there. And we keep scrolling down. Arizona Public Services. Let's see. It's a statewide system. You have a DMR system. So it all depends really what you want to be able to monitor, right? Nevada Shared Radio System is an EDAC system. Vegas is P25. So here's what I would say. For the majority of what it is that's out there, it looks like you can get away with an analog radio, which would be something like the, let's see, what is this? It's Nevada Shared. So something with a little bit of trunking maybe if you want this Nevada Shared system in here. You're looking at the BCT15X. For the most part, it looked like you could get away with an analog radio, but if you really want to get into something that does the P25 network, you're looking at the BCD996P2, the BCD325P2. You can go a little bit more advanced and go the BCD436 to 536, the STS100, STS200, or even a TRX1 or the TRX2. But it all depends exactly what it is here that you want to listen to. So, I don't know how much of it is of interest to you or how much of it is close to your backyard, these things that you want to monitor. But that's where we would go with that. All right. Good evening from Bermuda, Ustens Smith. Bermuda, great. Good to see you on. Thank you so much for joining us. Papa P, good morning. Good morning. I guess that means that you're overseas. Bob Skidmore, how you doing, Bob? 45 unit. Hello? Louis. Excuse me. Nope, it's not the virus. I don't go anywhere. Louis, how you doing? I hope everything's well with you. Timothy's asking, is it easy to program an SDS100 or should I let the company program it? So the SDS100, it's a learning curve. It uses Unit in Sentinel, which isn't all that crazy to set up and program. And in fact, if I can get it running over here, let's just see how much of a headache it's going to be to bring this one up over here. So I'm just going to bring up a remote session to my Windows machine. Well, I'm doing this off screen here, so you can't see what I'm doing just yet. Whoops, wrong one. I'm going to bring up Unit and Sentinel just to show you how things are laid out in there. It's like I said, it's really not super difficult, but there is a learning curve. I'm just putting my password in to get to the computer. So while I'm waiting for Sentinel to load up, let me just go through some more of the chat. We'll come back to this question as soon as I get everything loaded up on this end. Close this up, quit this. All right. Let's see. Michael is saying K0QCS here. Scott County, Iowa. It's a severe thunderstorm warning. Thanks for checking in, Michael. Hopefully you are safe and everything is good on your end. Garth Matson, good to see you in, Garth, from Stonewall, Manitoba, Canada. Good to see you on the YouTube channel tonight instead of over on Zello. Thanks for following us over here tonight. Paul is in from Tulsa, right, Paul? It says, hi, Phil. Great to hear the Facebook Live again. Curious to know if anyone is catching any good scanning of mutual aid frequencies or other comms during the COVID responses. So if you've been listening to anything COVID-related, why don't you put an answer down in the chat box. We'll make sure we read those back to Paul later on, or maybe Paul will see that. I know personally over here, we're seeing the 700 megahertz TAC frequencies are being used at one of the testing facilities, so I can't really hear it here, but I know somebody that was setting up a radio system for his fire department to just make sure they can monitor it, because that's their jurisdiction down there at the beach. So it's they're using those simplex frequencies. Other than that, your money is going to vary based on where you are and what's going on with it. So I would think it's very fluid as to where you are. So let's back up here, and I'm going to share my screen. So we're going to go back to Timothy's question, and I have everything loaded up over here. So let's go ahead and do a transition. And here we go. So this is what it looks like when you have a full Sentinel database set up. Now, again, this is the way I set all my stuff for Sentinel. I break it down by state usually. So I have Connecticut, I have Florida. JS was a customer of mine. That was his initials. I kind of just need to get rid of those. New Jersey, I got New York, right? It's broken down by New York, then by county. And then I've got Philadelphia, I've got USA stuff in here, and then just some test stuff at the end. So if I wanted to say, for example, set up something in an area, I'm just going to pick up random here. I'll just do something for New York's, I'll do something for the United States interoperability. Let's go that way, right? Since we're just talking about that with Paul's question. So you can go to any state, any county, because it's a nationwide system, right? And what you can do is say, I'm just going to go to New York. While it loads up, I'll go New York City. And then we have nationwide, statewide, and county systems. Now, if I go to nationwide, I'll get all of the nationwide stuff from Radio Reference in here. So I have federal disaster. Let me just expand that out on this side so you can see it better. So I've got federal disaster. I've got interoperability Canada. Is that Canada? Is that what that is? Must be. Yep. Where's the interoperability for the United States? National interoperability. Here it is. So here you go. NIFOG, right? It's all in here. So what you could do is you just right click on this, append to favorites list. And again, I would create a new list. I would call it USA NIFOG, just for example. Hit enter. Now in my favorites list, I've got a NIFOG set up in here. So it's very simple to kind of move things around like that and to get things moving. So the one thing though you want to keep in mind though when you program up a Uniden Sentinel scanner is that not only do you have scan lists, you have favorites list, but you also have service types. Now these service types align with what you see in Radio Reference: fire dispatch, law TAC, multi-TAC, etc., etc. It becomes a problem if you have these turned off. So the story that I have, which was one of the ways I was pulling my hair out for a while, is that when I was first starting to program up these scanners here, was I was trying to do my local power company. and I couldn't hear him. Every time I would put the scanner into scan only for that bank, it would say nothing to scan. And the reason why I said nothing to scan is because utilities was not clicked on here. So if you're not doing location-based scanning or anything like that, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you've got all of these turned on in here. And that'll save you a lot of time and a lot of a headache. So reality, it's not that difficult to set these up. Again, if you come in here and you just want to make sure you right-click on the main thing here. And when you right-click on it, you do Program Favorites List. And this would be where you would jump on the Favorites List keys. So you can do your quick key right from here. You can even do in the options, you can set up your startup config. So this is a press and hold and turn it on, and it would turn on all the favorites list that you have on a startup key. Location control, again, this uses a GPS or not to turn the bank off and on. So it's okay to set up. What I normally do is I use Sentinel for the bulk programming, and then I go into ARC 536, which is a Butel product. And again, if you're looking for Butel software, it's scannerschool.com/Butel, Butel, and that's in my affiliate link, where if you purchase something from there, I'll make a small commission on the sale if you buy from there. So hopefully that answered your question, Timothy. And I mean, you can let the company program it if you'd like to, or if you'd rather learn how to do it yourself, you can definitely book me for a full hour. A full hour. The cost on that right now is $47, and you go to scannerschool.com/consulting, and you can book me for an hour of time if you want to do it that way. All right, let's move through this again. Joe Curtis says, "Thanks, Phil, for the info about SDR training." Dave Alexander says, "Question for you all. Having a hard time hearing CTSPD. Didn't have a problem before." Dave, what is CTSPD? Let me know. Bob Skidmore is asking, where is your store at? Bob, I don't have a store, a brick and mortar store. I basically operate right here. So I do all my radio programming from here. I sell pagers through East Coast Pagers. One-man show on that one. So I don't have a walk-in type of facility where I do anything, but I'm based out of Lisle, New York, if that's what you're asking. Joseph is saying, I've been doing good, been listening to my scanners, including my SDS 100, which I love so much, best scanner ever. Joseph, I am happy to hear that you are still happy with the SDS 100. It's a nice radio to your collection, so keep enjoying it. Paul says, love the t-shirt, Phil. What's the story on it? So the story on this is a Nassau Firecom shirt, and it was actually a fundraiser for their whoops, let me just switch over the transition here. So it was a fundraiser for their coffee club. So the front of the shirt basically has the cross on it, and the back is really cool. Take a look at this, guys. Can you see it? Nope, maybe not. If I square it down. How's that? So yeah, now you got a nice little picture, right? But it's Nassau Fire. It's got the firebox on it. This is Fire Communications, Long Island, New York. So established 1973. But yeah, it was just a fundraiser for them, and I kind of picked one up just to kind of support, make sure they got coffee so I could stay up in the middle of the night. So that's the story, Paul. All right. Bob says, do I program? Yeah, Bob, I can program the scanners. Joshua Rob is asking, one of my first alpha tag receivers was a Realm MS200. Do you have one in your one in my collection? No, I don't have any Realms in my collection, Joshua. But I am looking for older gear at this point and see what I can get my hands on. So I got a couple of radios on the old wish list that I'm going through as funds allow. Let's see what we got here, and we're going to speed things up because at the bottom of the hour, I'm going to jump over into my Patreon supported only Q&A session. So we'll turn the jets on just a little bit more here. Kevin is asking, I live in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. When radio reference database updates things in the surrounding counties, do I just append that to the database to my favorites list? Yeah. So Kevin, what you have to do on that one is, when you do the update in Sentinel, it's only going to update the master home patrol database. It's not going to update your favorites list. So what you need to do is just select what's new or what's changed, or you can select the whole thing and append it to your existing favorites list. It will overwrite all the data in there. It will not delete anything. So if anything in there has been deleted, you're going to have to manually go in there and delete it. But yeah, you could just go ahead and append right into your favorites list. So let's see, for an example, if I can bring this back up here, if I go Google Chrome and transition back, whoop. Hopefully you guys see the screen. Yeah, you see the screen now. So if I were to say come into, I've got New York, Nassau County Fire, right? And I don't know, I got these battalions in here. I don't know if anything has changed since I last updated it, but I could just come in here and go into my county, go to Nassau, and then go into, county systems, and then Nassau County, and then, Fire Battalion 1. And then just do right click on it, append a favorites list, and tell it that it's going to go into the New York, Nassau County. But you get the picture. Nassau County Fire. Click OK. And then there you go. Stewart Manor just got added to it. So, or something got added to it that pushed Stewart Manor down one. So that's how you would do it. And we're going to save that. Okay. So hopefully that answered that question. Now you see my messy desktop. All right. Let's see. Mark saying right along saying, Phil, your Q&A is always super learning experience. Thank you for your suggestions. Equals SDS 100 purchase pending. Have more questions for you next time. Mark saying right along. You can definitely ask me your questions next time. Or let me transition over here so you can actually see me. And ask on the Q&A sessions if you want. Again, join us on Zello weekly, and we can always go there as well. Glenn is asking, is there an actual nationwide P25 system ran by the federal government? I don't know if anything that's fully P25, fully across the nation, but they do have the ability to kind of jump onto local systems. I'm sure there's a trailer that runs around and can support them on the fly as well as that goes. But we can, there is a whole interoperability plan. I believe it's on the DHS website that kind of tells you how to interop into somebody else's system and how the radio should be programmed to make sure that happens. So it's pretty neat to do that. Bob, he says, need help with a Whistler to program CTC, you're in Farmingdale. Okay. Bob, email me directly, phil@scannerschool.com, and we'll sync offline with this one. David's saying CT State Police. Okay, so hold on one second here. I'm going to try and breeze through some of these real quick. And I think we're going to hold off on questions now because I got just a couple of minutes. And again, if you have any more questions, you can go to scannerschool.com/ask, and you can ask me the questions. I'll respond to them via email or on Zello. So the questions that are in the queue right now, we'll breeze through them really, really fast, and we'll move on. So, Dave, you were asking about. Let me just scroll up here and get a refresher as to what you were asking me. Now it's about New York State Police. I think I went too far. Having a hard time hearing state police didn't have a problem before. I don't know what would have changed up there. Let's just quickly, if I can jump into radio reference really fast, and I see what's going on over here. Because I lost the remote session. That's why. Radio reference, apps DB. And let me just see if you guys see this. Whoop, screen flow. That's the wrong app. Let's see what happens when you try and speed things up and all you do is slow things down. All right, so if I come back into Connecticut, let's just see if you have any changes to the statewide system, which is always interesting what you can do. So if we come in here, we go to CT, where would it be? Statewide. Connecticut Federal Guard, CT Med, Department of Corrections, Emergency Management. Why can't I find it? Is CT State PD should be a statewide agency, right? I don't know why I'm not seeing it, but there should be a way that you can come in here and I'm just going to do CT interoperability. Sorry, guys. I know there's a trunk system for Connecticut for the state PD, and I thought it would have been on a statewide system. But if I scroll down here at the bottom, maybe I could find it here. Connecticut, there it is. So you can always go into the top right here where it says last updated. And if you click on here, it'll tell you what was changed, right? Added this category, deleted news entry ID. But just make sure that your local I don't know what type of radio you have either, because you could have a simulcast issue. If you don't have a radio that does simulcast, so that could be part of the problem with you. And Dave has a phase 2 scanner. Yeah, is it a 996 or a 325 or something like that? Because those don't do well in simulcast at all, so that could be part of the problem. So that might be it. So you may want to just make sure that you are able to isolate the scanner and not get the simulcasting issues that go along with it. So that's what I would say. Joe is saying, proud East Coast pager customer. Can't wait for new firmware for unification to offer be out for beta testing. Joe, I'm jealous now. I tried to get onto that beta testing thing, but I missed the boat on that one. So it's very cool. Dan is saying, I have the Rear Shack Pro 668 in Central Florida. The DMR update worth $69. Also, anyone using DMR in Florida, there is no DMR update as far as I know for the Pro 668. The DMR upgrade would be paid for the unit in. So let's just take a quick peek here. Make sure I've got the right radio in mind here. No, it's the C. I'm not gonna get a picture. That stinks. Let's get a picture over here. Oh, okay. It's that one. Yeah, that would be done through the Whistler trade-in program, right? So, I mean, my TRX-1 works really well on DMR. It doesn't really program the same way as a DMR trunk system. It kind of runs through the conventional channels. But if you have DMR in your area and it's something you want to listen to, then I definitely would say it'd be worth it. But if you have no interest in anything that's on DMR, then you can save yourself a couple bucks on that one. Dave's asking, how do I update the firmware on my BCD996P2? So to update the firmware on that one, you need a program called BC something update version 3. Just jump on to, I hate to say to Google this one, but that's really the fastest way to do it because I can never remember where the website is on it. But just do BCD996P2 firmware update software. It's a executable file that you're going to load onto your Windows machine. And then from the pull down menu, you tell it's a 996, and then you connect the 996 to your scanner, to your computer, and it actually downloads the firmware over the internet and pushes it to the scanner. So that's how that is taken care of on that one. I'm really sorry to rush that answer, but I am running out of time here. So I'm just going to switch over this screen over here. So what I want to do is I want to thank everybody who helped support us tonight. And let's see what we got here really quickly. Kevin Lee saying, thank you, Phil, for your awesome show. It has helped us tremendously. Les is saying, thanks, Phil, for the session. Enjoy the answers tonight. And Bob is replying to Dave Alexander YouTube. Okay, so again, like I said, we've got a ZeloNet that runs every Tuesday. I'm just going to put the information down here in the corner. So it's www.scannerschool.com, and I can't do my shortcuts. www.scannerschool.com/Zello. And that's where you can get the information for the ZeloNet. If you have any questions about scanning during the week or anything else and you want help with it, you go to scannerschool.com/ask. And again, I answer those questions on the podcast. And if you ask me via SpeakPipe or a local number, I put you in the running for a free tutoring session as a reward. And I'll even up the ante this month. What I'll do is if you email me, or should you send in your voice questions, I have a stack here. Look at the stack of Squelchy stickers. So what I'll do is if you ask me a question via voice, so either via the Ask or the SpeakPipe, what I'll do is I just spilled these all over the place. Here's just a sample. These are little stickers. There you go. So you can peel these off and stick them on whatever you want. But I got 3 different ones here, so you ask me a question and I'll get these mailed out to you. These are safe for my Patreon supporters, but feeling generous right now. So ask me a question via scannerschool.com/ask and we'll get these over to you. So with that, again, you can catch us on our podcast, scannerschool.com. Again, weekly on our ZeloNet, except the first week of the month. YouTube, where most of you are right now. We're on Facebook. We have a great community over on scannerschool.com/Facebook group. And I think that's it for the month. So again, I want to thank everybody who is here. And for those of you who are my $5 a month Patreon supporters, we'll catch you over on your private your private Patreon feed. 73everyone. It's been fun. We'll catch us all again next month. And Bob, my email address. Yeah, I'll put that in here right here. So it's phil@scannerschool.com. We'll catch you all on the Facebook and YouTube live session next month. 73everyone. And again, scannerschool.com/ask those questions that come out between